Hey everyone, it's Colleen here. I thought I'd take a different approach today. So y'all have seen some of my character canes and the way that they're done. As I've stated before, they're all pretty much done the exact same way. You just fill in the blanks kind of puzzle. So I did the blue for the main color of Genie. The dark blue is going to be the outline for his facial features instead of doing it in black. And then the white is his eyes and teeth. The black, of course, is going to be for his eyes, his eyebrows, his beard, all those kind of things. So I started here, as I usually often do, with the eyes, putting that together. And once I get those done, I'm just going to continue on building. However, in this video, instead of giving you step-by-step directions, I'm going to give you some maybe hints and tips about doing clay canes. So one of my first hints is, and I don't even follow my own advice nearly enough, but when you're making a cane, especially if it's a little bit larger, maybe you guys have a better concept than I do about how much clay you're going to need exactly. I just guesstimate. But this is really important. If you are mixing colors, which I feel like I do when I make every single cane, make sure that you have enough clay of the mixed color. Even maybe make a little more than you think you're going to need, because if you have to remake those colors, unless you're really organized, which sad to say I'm not, and you write down the exact proportions that you use and which colors you use to get where you need to be, it is super difficult to remake a blended color. I have found this out several times, more times than I'd care to actually say, but it's just a really important thing to remember. My second really helpful hint is going to be to use the same density, maybe is the right word, I don't know if that's the right word, of clay when making a cane. So for instance, lately I've been having some difficulties finding the right clay colors that I need. That's why I started mixing so many. But I don't know how many of you have tried the Crafter's Collection from Hobby Lobby. Right now, and it's been for a while, it's only 77 cents a pack. It's 1.7 ounces, which is a little less than the 2 that the standard ones are, but that's way cheaper. So I've been buying a lot of that. And and it's very soft. So your cane will come out really nice if you use all soft clays. The problem is if you have one of the clays that's firmer, for instance, Kato poly clay, which I absolutely love. It's a great clay. But if you're going to use that clay, you need to use all that clay because it's going to reduce differently. And what you'll end up with is this firmer clay will kind of get lost in the reduction, and the softer clay will sort of overpower it. Anyway, I've done both, and you can do either all firmer clays or all softer clays, but it's really a whole lot better if you do the same clay. So just to keep up on Genie, we're right here. Once I put the eyes together, and then I'm going to start forming the face. I used, in order to make his nose, I did that, and then I used the darker blue to highlight the nose. I chose to do the darker blue in this cane instead of black because if I looked at his picture, it wasn't quite a black outline, and I just felt, I don't know, I thought it would be a nice change of pace, and I thought it would look really good. As it turned out in the end, I really liked it. So back to my helpful hints. When mixing two different clays together, like I said, you should use either all soft or all firm clays. However, that being said, I have used some of the poly clay for the color, but I went ahead and mixed it with, say, the white Crafter's Collection, and it still made it softer. But here's the thing. When you mix two clays of two different brands, sometimes you have some difficulty where they start to break up and peel apart. Basically, they don't like each other very much, and it takes a lot for them to become friends and mix together. So anyway, keep that in mind when you're mixing colors. Here's another really helpful suggestion. I know this because I've made the mistake enough times. When you're making a cane, especially when you're doing something like a face, but honestly, any part of any kind of cane, when you're making especially a face, let's say when you do something like eyes or a mouth or lips or something like that, if it doesn't seem right, if it seems off, if it doesn't look like what the picture looks like, take the time to redo it, because I have done this way too many times. If the lips look too big in comparison to the rest of the cane, it's not going to fix it in reduction. They're all going to be smaller, but it's still going to look too big in comparison to the rest of the cane. So I have a couple of my female canes like Belle from Beauty and the Beast, and actually when I did Jasmine, her lips came out rather large. So she looks like she got a super extra healthy injection of Botox right before her showing. Now, in addition to this, one of the things I have found out that works well for me is that I used to wrap all my canes in translucent, but then I realized how actually expensive that is, and I started using my scrap clay, because nearly all of the canes that you make, you're going to cut away everything you wrapped it with anyway. So it really doesn't matter. And it saved me a goodly amount of money. If you're going to leave it there, then yeah, use the translucent. Otherwise, you don't really need it. Another tip when you're making character canes is that you can use a little bit of creative license. You don't have to do every single detail on the face. You can choose to omit some of them without losing the integrity of the character. So I'd really appreciate your feedback, everyone. Would you prefer me just to give a step-by-step of the canes all the time? Or did you find these hints and ideas helpful in making future canes for yourself? I really would appreciate your comments below. Another helpful hint would be when you have like that earpiece there on him, you want to have that definition stay. So if you're still working on another part of the cane, you should go ahead and put that definition in there so it doesn't get squished together accidentally. So here you can see I just covered it with translucent and rolled it out and cut it. Thank you guys for watching. Have a wonderful day, and don't forget to subscribe.